Hey everyone, welcome to another to my live tea tasting. I've got an exciting blend for you guys tonight, and as promised, I have a very special guest. So I'm going to introduce them both at the same time. We are doing the Rosy Llama with the designer of the tea, Thomas Moncrief. I don't know. Oh my God. And I practiced too. You heard me practice. I don't know why Minecraft just came out.
Thomas Mine.
But actually, hey Rachel,
Okay,
welcome.
I'm gonna share.
Oh yeah, go for it. Hey Ma, welcome. Greg, welcome. You're here for the llama. Were you not here for the roses? I'm sure, like you're gonna get a good dose of llama and roses. Unfortunately, there is no actual llama in this tea. There's no actual llama, right?
No llama.
No llama. Okay, good, because that's probably not gonna be FDA approved. But we do have some good tea in here. So we're gonna start off with my favorite part. I'm gonna start the. Oh wait, no, I can't start the water yet because I'm actually using the Velocity this time. Snail, welcome. I'm using the Velocity this time for the entire thing, so we're going to actually fill this up. So you recommended before that we fill up the Velocity with 9 teaspoons. Is that correct?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
1 teaspoon for 4 ounces. 2 teaspoons per cup.
All right. And I usually do mine really strong anyway, so.
Yeah, so you could throw in another teaspoon after that.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
We'll play it by ear.
So one thing we've noticed about this tea is that because fluffy stuff will float to the top, and then mate and rooibos are so
like dense,
that
yeah.
if you get this bag and shake it up some, the rooibos and mate will all be kind of in the bottom, and the rose all at the top. So you got to kind of try to scoop from the bottom.
You got to dig deep.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. First impressions when you smell it. What do you think?
It's already like created, like has a like a certain type of smell to me. Like it makes me think of the time I spent blending this tea, all the time we spent voting on it, putting it out at the store for people to for customers to sample it. So yeah, it already has like a distinct smell to me that makes me think of
very memorable.
trying
to
make the blend. Yeah.
Tell them the story about how it came to win. How long did it take?
So everyone puts their blends together and we submit them, and then we do a round of tasting just amongst the employees. And so we don't vote on our own blends, obviously, but we vote on our favorite, like other blend in the shop, and then the top 2 get put out for customers to taste. And we put those out usually for a weekend. Customers come in, and if they're in a hurry, we don't ask them, but other customers will ask them to taste the teas and vote on their favorite. And usually this takes a weekend. Mine was up against Christian's blend, which was a really good cinnamon blend with rooibos cinnamon with blueberries.
Did he have cranberry?
Cranberries.
Yeah, cranberry.
Right. And so it was a very close competition, and it lasted all the way until like Wednesday of the next week, whereas usually it just takes a weekend.
It was thrilling,
Lance,
neck and neck.
Yeah. According to Lance, it was like the closest vote between employee blends. Out of about 60 votes for each, mine won by like 5 votes. So, it could have gone either way, really. It just was kind of a bit lucky of who happened to come in that day and vote on the tea. So I feel very fortunate to have won.
And I did not get to vote that time. I was unfortunately away, and I missed the whole drama, the whole drama llama. So I was not fortunate enough to weigh in. But I have to say, from the sample I tasted, I was satisfied with the victory. Now, keep in mind, the only taste that I've had was when it was first in conception, and it was still just the trifecta. So talk to them about the trifecta.
So this blend started off as something I called the trifecta, which was just black tea, rooibos, and mate, all in equal proportions. And so that's something I used to blend back when I lived on a farm for a little while. I was doing some farm work, and we had to wake up early, and if we didn't have any coffee, then that's what I would go to, because mate has a lot of caffeine, so it's a good sort of coffee substitute. And if you blend those 3 things together with some honey, that alone is like really good. So then for the competition, I decided to spice it up a little bit. So it's got rose petals, licorice root, and orange peel. And so those 3 additions are supposed to kind of go with the autumn a little bit, make it taste a little bit something that go with honey, like a sweetish floral kind of taste. So, yeah. I mean, I guess we'll talk more about the flavors when we get into tasting it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I want to take a moment and recognize the look of this tea. I don't have the. I hope I can angle it just enough. There it
Hold
is.
the camera down some?
Oh yeah, you know what? That's not going to work. So yeah, let's do it the long way. The way that I usually do it. It's gonna flip around, I hope. Oh no, it's not gonna let me do it. All right. So here, we'll do it this way. Now, as you can tell, we can barely see it. It's a very there it is. Yeah. It's a very colorful. Why does it keep doing that? It keeps telling me to rotate. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, oh yeah, that does help. Let me just pull it down a little bit. So I don't know if it's stopping you guys from seeing it. But it's a very colorful tea. You see there's like a lot of red, a lot of orange, a lot of black in it. It's a very, there's purples. It's a very colorful tea. And I can really appreciate the, Natalie, welcome. I didn't see you there. My phone was, was flipped over. But yeah, there's like a lot of different colors in this tea. And it's very visually stunning. Like it stands out from a lot of different ingredients all together in one. I'm gonna shake it up a little bit just to help things move around and mix up the flavors a little bit. Now I did make sure to dig deep to get some good flavor, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this started. What temperature would you suggest, or rather, what setting would you suggest?
So I've been doing it. I've tried it on the oolong setting. I've also tried doing the white tea setting or the green tea setting, and then just cycling it 2 times in a row. Because mate, as is suggested by some people, you're supposed to do it at 150 degrees. So you could try to do a low amount of temperature on the velocity for a long time, but oolong is fine. I think 180. A range of 180 to 195.
Yeah, it's a good midway point. It's not going to oversteep the mate. I mean, and the rest of it is just herbal and black tea. So you're going to it's basically 2 to 1. So the mate, which doesn't take a whole lot of can't take a whole lot of heat. There's not enough of it to really affect the overall taste. So we're going to go ahead and split the difference and do this as an oolong. So it's going to do it at 195 degrees for about 4 minutes. And that should be enough to really get all the flavors out. If it was just me, I would be brave enough to do it as a black tea. Not quite the herbal tea, because the herbal tea, it takes about 7 minutes. And that might be pushing it a little bit. But I would definitely have tried it as a black tea just to get the stronger flavor out. I mean, it was with yerba mate, which has a very strong smoky flavor to it, because it's made out of tobacco leaf. Well, is it made out of tobacco? Well, I mean, it's got tobacco leaf in it, or it's
I don't know,
infused. You never knew that?
No.
Oh yeah, yerba mate. It's got
I've never
tobacco.
read up on stuff like that.
Yeah.
I know that the mate comes from a bush, South American bush.
Yeah, and somehow they integrate the tobacco leaf into it. Now you're not going to get addicted to smoking, so it's okay. It's okay to drink it, but you get it tastes like an unburnt cigarette. And I mean,
it's got a hay flavor to it.
Yeah, a bit of a hay, kind of sort of nutty, but not super duper strong. It's good for a wake up, that's for sure. It's got a nice flavorful kind of how would you describe a wholesome flavor. I hate using the word wholesome though, because it feels like a home time. Old. It feels like it's.
Well, another thing is that in South America, people drink mate out of gourds, and I can totally understand why. Because if you take a hollowed out gourd and smell the inside of it, that sort of dry the dried out squash, like that flavor, that is kind of what mate tastes like. So they go hand in hand with each other, and the gourd will like absorb the flavor of the mate over time.
Oh yeah.
So, and this is the only employee blend that has mate in it.
Really?
I'm the first employee to dare to try using mate. So it's kind of a tea that's not very well known, but should be appreciated more, I think.
Oh yeah,
so
absolutely.
That is one reason why I wanted to use mate in my blend.
Oh yeah. In some, like it's more popular in some circles than others. It's very easy to overlook because it comes from South America, and it's not very, just in general, South America is not a place that you think of when you think of tea.
Right.
So, it slips through the cracks a lot. And even still, it's like not even a tea, it's still an herbal blend. But still, like it's got like the backing and the legitimacy of the legitimacy of a tea, but not the official title. If that makes any sense.
It goes in the Tisane category.
Yeah, the Tisane. Every time I think of Tisane, I think of like fruit blends, but like it's not just limited to fruit. It's also
just any kind of tea anything that you're gonna flavor hot water with and drink as a beverage, but it's not gonna come from the Camellia sinensis leaf. So any of that could be an herbal tea, which we would call a Tisane.
Yeah, it's the tea without being a tea.
Yeah. So
it's tealess. Oh my god, that was awful. Oh man, I love watching this thing bubble. Like it sits there and then tingles.
Yeah.
And
so at 195, you're getting those streams of bubbles coming up, but it's not quite boiling. So it's almost there.
Yeah. And then once it gets the temperature, the water comes through the bottom and filters up through the top and basically cycles. And I love the way that this thing works. It's ingenious. Normally the old-fashioned way, you guys have seen me do it 100 times. You put the tea in the basket, lower the basket into the hot water, it steeps, you take the basket out and put it in the and pour the tea out into the cup. But in this case, like it cycles the water around and you get the flavor from that. And I don't know, like, do you taste a difference between this particular way of steeping it versus the traditional way?
I tend to favor the traditional way because you're like fully steeping. I have a little bit of skepticism about the velocity, but I mean I've been using one myself at home, and it works really well. So.
Oh yeah, and Lord knows this is one of my favorite investments. I bought this with about 80% of it was from points. Like no joke, this thing is usually 220, and I think I only paid like $30.
Yeah.
Which is awesome, but what can I say?
It's already got like way darker just from steeping for like a minute.
Yeah. And it's got this, well, you guys will see it in a few minutes. It's got this really nice red tone to it. It looks kind of like an evening sunset right over the beach. Like
maybe I should have called it that.
Evening sunset over the beach.
Yeah.
We spent about maybe an hour or two talking about different titles, and of course I was trying with the puns and the alliteration, and nothing quite stuck. But Rosy Llama came out, and when he announced it, I was like, it works. Yeah. So yeah. I played a small part in Adagio history. As like the advisor that gave no good advice. But hey,
Rosy Llama is it's a name that's working out, I guess.
Oh yeah.
I didn't really like it that much at first, but all the other customers seem to like it. So
it's just starting to grow on you.
Yeah.
Good to know.
And we showed them the cover, like this is
oh yeah.
how they regarded like that.
And who drew that llama?
This is just made off of the Canva website. So this is all just like clip art, basically, off of a website. So
that's what it looks better than anything I could draw with my left hand. Like,
yeah.
Llama. I'm awful. But ooh, excuse me. Starting to get hot already. I lost my train of thought now. This is what happens when you're not completely prepared for a stream.
Yeah.
Hey Nicole, welcome. I see you popped in right in the corner. There you are. Oh man, okay.
Because the people watching aren't saying anything. Y'all need to talk some.
Exactly. I open up the floor to you guys. Go ahead, ask questions. Feel free to make comments because
Here, I'm watching now. Oh wait.
Oh, there you go. There, I'm lagging. I'm in two places at once. Haha. Hey, you're watching. Hey, Thomas, welcome to the stream.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, my voice is a little bit strained. Hey, glad you made it. Oh man. So anyway.
Yeah, it's only lagging by like 2 seconds.
Yeah, that's a good thing because sometimes you can be talking for a couple minutes and then people just chime in for something that I said 2 minutes ago and I say, oh yeah, calling back. But hey,
So I did share the stream on my wall.
Yes.
None of my friends are tuning in though. So,
well, you never know. I mean,
they'll see the VOD maybe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they might pop in. I don't know if it'll show up on my screen or if it'll show up on your screen.
No, it should just show that they're in the
They're
main
in the lobby.
feed, right?
I don't know. I mean, I've never done this before, so not to my knowledge. Usually Herman. Is it Herman that does it? No, it's Herman. Herman shares and is one other person who has shared it on occasion. But yeah, nobody's ever rarely. I think it's only happened once or twice that somebody new.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me, pops in and actually comments.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I think
just about done.
I think it's almost done. There we go. I was waiting for that little beep. So we're gonna do something a little bit different this time. We're going to drink it without sweetener, and then in the second round we're gonna drink it with sweetener.
Yeah.
Do you remove the basket, or do you just?
I usually let it sit there for at least a couple minutes because it'll drip a lot. But yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I mean I do the same thing, but I didn't know if that was a no for the product.
No, it doesn't matter because the tea it's not gonna touch up against the basket.
Yeah, I kind of figured. So I'm gonna try to pour this one up here.
So cool.
You guys can see. So you guys can see the color of the tea. It's got a very nice bronze to it, very light tan. Oh, and the Adagio mug that changes color. I forgot about that.
It's already changed pretty much all the way.
Oh yeah. I've used that maybe once or twice on the stream.
Yeah, so
it's pretty nifty.
It kind of looks like a weak black tea, but that's because there's so much rooibos and mate in there.
Yeah, there's very little. There's only a third of it is black tea, and that's just the tea portion. Not to mention the other ingredients like the licorice root, the orange peel, and the rose. So the rose especially is going to have a huge influence on the color. That's probably the strongest colored herb in there.
Mm-hmm. So I already started sipping myself. I don't know.
Cheater! Well, now that you started, what are your cheers? What are your impressions of it?
Well, I've been drinking it a lot. So.
Exactly.
It's definitely a tea that I like to drink. I didn't. I'll drink it for my own pleasure, not just for the sake of, getting other customers to sample it in the store or whatever. But yeah, it's got that black tea flavor, but the rose and the rooibos. Rooibos is something I've definitely realized is not so good by itself, at least not to me, but blending with rooibos is a really good idea. So chamomile and rooibos or black tea rooibos, those type of blends can give you all sorts of interesting flavors. So yeah, I mean, I can taste everything that's in there when I taste it myself. Someone who's not that familiar with tea, if they're tasting it for the first time, might just think it's a kind of interesting, strange tasting black tea, because that's what comes maybe your first impression. Especially if you've never had mate by itself before, you might not be able to identify that flavor. But yeah, I mean, the mate is definitely in there. Rooibos is definitely in there.
Yeah, and mate and rooibos have certain textures when you drink it. So it's I don't know. I'll see if I'll be able to distinguish the two of them, because they have two very distinct textures when you drink them. But I've never drunk them drank them together. Drunk. I never drunk them together.
Past perfect tense.
Yeah, I was never good at grammar or grammar. But anyway. All right, so here we go. My first sip.
I'm already sipping on it.
You're already halfway done.
It does. Yeah, you do need to let it cool off a good bit to like really taste everything in there.
Yeah. The first thing that pops to me is the rose. Like the rose is very, very strong.
There's a lot of rose in it, yeah. Yeah, so this is a 3-ounce bag. This here. Half an ounce of this is rose. So like 1/6 of it. But you know, rose is so fluffy that when you look at it, you might think that this is half rose, but actually it's by weight, it's only 1/6 of it is rose.
So is that what you did to blend it? Like each one is 1/6? Because there are 6
No,
ingredients.
it's not proportional.
Okay.
Half an ounce of rose, a 1/4 ounce of licorice root, a 1/4 ounce of orange peel. So those 3 additions together make 1 ounce. And then the other 2 ounces is almost evenly proportioned between mate, black tea, and rooibos. It's a little bit heavier on the black tea than the other 2. So.
Yeah, it would need to be because black tea is usually the dominant flavor, but in this one, because it's up against mate and rooibos, you have 3 distinct flavors in one cup, and it's going to be a hard competition.
Yeah. So do you taste the mate and the rooibos? Can you kind of pick out those?
I don't taste the mate, but I taste the tobacco. Like I taste the smokiness of it. There is a certain okay, I'll put it this way. I taste the tobacco, I feel the mate. If that makes any sense. Like you know what I'm talking about because you're drinking it, but it's like you have that kind of grainy almost, I don't want to say sandy texture, but like a, how would you describe it? Like a,
well, yeah, like a dustiness to it.
Yeah, a dusty. I mean, I don't want to say dusty because it has a bad connotation, but
no, but it is. It's kind of like a wood dust kind of sensation. And like I was telling you earlier, if you brew it on like 150 or 160, that dustiness of the mate goes away. But then since it's got so much black tea in it, you're not going to get enough flavor out of your black tea. So it is a bit of a problem with like what temperature to choose for this tea. But yeah, I think 180 is good.
Well, I mean, for something like that, you can experiment on your own. You know, I mean, this is something that, like you said, you can do it as an oolong. You can do it as a white tea twice. You can do it as a full-on black tea, and you'll get a different cup every single time. I mean, you can even do it as a green tea. I don't see why not. You know, because the green tea is going to be a little bit not as strong as the oolong, but it might catch that nice balance. Even though there is no green tea in it, you might catch a good balance of the mate, at least against the rooibos. Because at this point, like since the black tea there's a little bit more of it, you're gonna naturally taste that over all 3, or at least you should. But in this case, if you steep at a lower temperature, you're not gonna get a whole lot of the black tea out of the actual black tea. So you're gonna be playing around with these flavors and the temperatures, the times, and everything that goes into steeping. You have a lot of room to experiment to see the way that you like to do it yourself. Oh man, that's good. It's kind of got. I'm getting like I don't know what is a combination of. It's definitely rose, and it might be either. I'm getting kind of like an apple juice tinge to it.
Apple juice, okay.
Yeah, kind of like.
I can see what you mean. I think the mate kind of contributes to taste.
It
like
might
that.
be the mate and the rose together, because I'm definitely getting that floral, that floral sense of the mate of the roses, but you're getting also the smokiness of the mate that kind of gives an equal experience that you would get from the citric acid of the apple.
Mm.
So I think that that's what's playing into it.
Yeah.
And this is the kind of tea that I want to take a sip and like just hold in my mouth for just a little bit and really explore the flavor. So it's a good thing I have a co-host today who's going to talk while I do that. Put you on the spot there.
I'm doing the same thing though. And so the last two ingredients, the licorice root and the orange peel, they might be really hard to notice, or you might kind of pick up on them. They kind of blend. You kind of get lost with those two. It's hard to pick out the difference between them, or like really notice them. But if you really taste for it, you can notice it in there.
Yeah, like I was able to taste the licorice root, but I had to search for it. So I know what you're talking about. You have like this kind of like, normally licorice has a very distinct flavor. Everybody knows either you love it or you hate it. You get that kind of root beer flavor coming out, and it's a little bit present in there. I'm not getting a whole lot of the orange. I mean, it may just be that I didn't dig down deep enough to get it, but like you get a good amount.
It's hard to notice, but I put orange peel in it because like I was flavoring this with honey so much, and I was thinking to myself, well, what if people drink this without honey, or they don't have honey? Like, what's going to give it that kind of floral, upbeat, bright flavor? So I put some orange peel in it for that.
Oh yeah, and it goes a long way. Like I love orange peels in my.
But it may have just sunk to the bottom.
Yeah, it may have. Like I didn't see any, but when I didn't exactly look at.
It's a good technique. Turn your bag upside down and shake, and then all the heavy things will fall to. And then you turn it back around, and then that's the top side. So
just make sure that it's well sealed at the top. Otherwise, you'll have a huge mess on your hand. And
I think that worked. I see orange peel now.
You see it? Oh yeah, there you go. It works.
Yeah. So we're gonna do a second round of tasting with some sugar.
Well, sweetener.
Maybe some sweetener of some sort.
Yeah, because I'm gonna use the cinnamon honey. I don't know. I mean, it's not too late to call in the stevia, or we do have regular sugar as well. So it's totally up to you. Just let me know before we do the second tea. But this is like it's. I always encourage people to sweeten to taste. So whatever sweetener you enjoy, that's all you. Oh yeah, that's really good. Oh, I'm starting to get hot. I'm gonna raise up the air conditioner real quick. Oof. I am like, I'm sweating. Oh look, I come back and there's 3 people now. Okay. Oh man, welcome whoever just popped in, because it doesn't say who did. So there was 2 people. When I left, there was 1. So 2 people. Thank you for joining, whoever you are.
Maybe if they're not. Well, I don't know.
Maybe they're your people.
If they're not saying anything in the chat, then we don't know who they are.
Yeah, that's sad. So go ahead and chat to us and talk to us and let us know what you think. If you have any questions. Okay. We have the actual designer of this tea here, so you can. Hey, Snea, welcome. Again, so I mean, this is a rare opportunity where I have the actual creator of the tea here. Well, yeah, you might have been that one person who didn't leave, but like I don't know who the other 2 people are. I'm grateful that they're here. I just wish they would make themselves known. I'd appreciate that. Now, it's starting to cool off a little bit. Do you notice any differences in the flavor?
You can definitely taste more when a tea's cooled off. It's the same flavors though for me, but
Just more intense.
yeah, the mate and the black tea especially. You just get a lot of that.
See, I'm still getting like a lot of the rose. Like it's for some reason the rose is what's playing out to me more. But I mean, like everybody's taste buds are different, so everybody's going to have a different experience. I mean, case in point.
Yeah, I mean, I've been drinking it a lot over the past couple of weeks, so I may have like the rose. I've gotten like
Got used to
it's
it.
where you know where you taste something so much that it falls into the background of your senses. So
Yeah, that actually makes an interesting point. Because it's all a matter of perspective. You're drinking something that you've been drinking for weeks now, and I think this is my first full cup. I've only had one tiny sample of it before it was the full blend, and I also had one small teacup after it was completed, just to sample it. And I was like, yeah, I was already bringing it home, but Lance, the manager, he was like, yeah, give it a shot. I was like, sure, because I can't say no to a free cup of tea, and neither should you actually. But I'm getting like a new baby kind of exposure to it. So to me, I still taste the the rose over everything, um, but that doesn't take away from the rest of the flavor. It's like I still get the smoky, acidic, citrus of the rest of it.
yeah, another thing is I don't really drink black tea a whole lot by myself. It's kind of funny that I did a blend with black tea, rooibos, and mate because I almost never drink those teas, but when I blend them together, I like them, I guess.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, together without the rose and without the the other three ingredients, the orange peel and the licorice root, you have a strong mix there to begin with, because you have three strong flavored teas that can hold their own against each other, and that's why the trifecta works, because they're all battling basically for the attention of your tongue.
Yeah. But black tea and rose, those two things go together really well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So it's kind of, for me, like, because I don't drink a whole lot of black tea, if I drink black tea and rose together, I don't really like the taste of rose petal can just kind of fall right in with the black tea taste, I guess, for me.
Yeah, because they do have a similar quality. It's basically two sides of the same coin, but one side is dark, the other side is flowery. But they tend to meet in the middle with some sort of commonality that's hard to describe, because it's like you can really taste the floral part of the rose, but there's another aspect to it that's harder to describe. Just like you have that same aspect to black tea, where you know what black tea tastes like, but there's that little part of the end of it that blends well with the end of the rose tea, and it's really hard to describe what that experience is like because they blend so smoothly into each other. So it's I have done a tea I streamed for you guys. I think it was like last year, where it was completely just rosebuds, and that, I mean, you would,
Nothing but rose?
yeah, nothing but rose.
Wow.
It was really good.
That was a tea?
Yeah. It
Oh,
was
wow.
actually a Christmas present from a friend of mine.
It might have been a really high quality rose, though, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It was like pure, just picked off the bud and dried.
Wow. Yeah.
So it was like the entire thing. It was really good. Like,
Nice.
it was better than what I had expected. I have had rose infused foods before. I had a candy from Nepal that was basically all rose, and it was rose, honey, and I forget. It was kind of like a granola, but not quite. It was really good. I at that point I never knew that rose was edible. I mean, this was years ago before I was even a little tea guy. Um, it was just it was one of those things that it was kind of like an awakening because I had no idea you can eat it, but after I did, I was like, okay, yeah, this is good.
Yeah, it's especially good in all kinds of teas, also, not just black tea, but green tea, white tea. Rose can be great.
And now rooibos,
Yeah.
rooibos tea, mate tea. But yeah, I never I do have rose in different kinds of teas. Leslie, welcome. But I've never really had a whole like a whole lot of experience, if that makes sense. Like every time I've had rose in my tea, it's always been either rose alone or rose with black tea. I don't think Adagio has anything that's like rose green, rose white, rose. I mean, well,
There is a lychee rose.
lychee
So,
rose, yeah.
lychee. How do you pronounce
It's
it?
lychee, yeah.
Okay.
Although I have a bag probably in there. I have not tasted it yet.
Yes, that's a green tea.
It's a green tea, and I feel bad for not tasting it yet. I have had a lychee black tea. Lychee, yep, you see? But yeah, I have had a lychee black tea that was brought by Rachel, who was here earlier. And that was just incredible. Like you had the really nice, smooth black tea with tones of lychee in it, and it really went well. Like I have to admit, I had a blast drinking it.
So we should get into this sweetener tea. Sweetener
Okay, oh, you're
version.
done?
You're taking forever though.
Yeah, well, it's force of habit. Like I drink slowly because I'm usually on my own for an hour. So, well, okay, so I'll pour you a cup. We'll do the sweetening.
All right, so let's see.
And then I'll drink this one down. I'll chug it. I love this color. Like, it's almost yellow in its brownness.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be enough for this.
All right, so let's see. So I'm going to be using
These
a,
cinnamon.
what is this again? A honey,
Cloister.
a whipped honey. So, so I don't know how much to put in if it's whipped, but I guess I'll just kind of get like.
Yeah, I mean, it's to taste. It's a good amount, yeah.
And this is going to take a long time to dissolve in. No?
Not at all.
Let's see.
Watch, you like flip it around a lot. Right off, you see? Right off the bat, it just slides right off the spoon.
So we'll see how this goes. So yeah, I definitely recommend getting a little bit of sweetener in this because, I don't know, for me, like with the orange peel and the licorice root and the mate, it just is really great with sweetener. In South America, when people drink mate as their morning get up drink, they always dump a lot of sugar in the cup. I remember
Sugar and caffeine.
So I studied abroad in South America and saw the way they drink mate there, and like I remember my advisor for classes when I first this is like the first or second day I was in Argentina, and I'm sitting in the office, and the guy, who's my advisor, like brings out the gourd and the mate for us, and it's like a cup that's this size, and he fills it up with like 4 times as much mate as what you would normally put as if a sane person was making their mate. And then he takes like 2 packs of sugar, like these long sticks of sugar, not like a little pack that you get from Starbucks, but like it's already got like 3 or 4 teaspoons worth of sugar in there, and he just dumps the whole thing on top and then some more. So
bam,
and then
diabetes.
Dumps boiling water on top of that. So the way they drink mate in South America, you get like a super strong brew of mate, which if you drink that by itself, it's going to be very like dry, bitter, super bitter. But then they just dump tons of sugar on top of that to even it out, and so you're getting like a syrupy kind of Damn, I guess that should be cut off, right?
Yeah, because it's gonna crust.
But yeah, so I'm not just saying to put sugar in it because
For sugar's sake,
like because I'm an American and I like to drink Coke and I think that tea should be sweet. It's because mate is
traditionally supposed to be.
Mate is properly enjoyed with sugar, I think, and so like honey, especially, or whatever your sweetener that you want. But at the very least, you should try it that way and see. So.
Oh yeah.
So
it's always the taste. I mean, I tend to drink my mate unsweetened. I try not to sweeten my tea up too much, just to keep its authenticity. I used to put tons of sugar into it, but like I kind of got off of that a little bit. Still, on occasion, I'll put a little bit of stevia, maybe some cream into a cup of Earl Grey, because trust me, Earl Grey needs it. But
yeah, Earl Grey's got those fruity pebble type flavors. So
fruity pebble, I call it shampoo. It's just like oof,
shampoo.
It's I tolerate it at best.
Once a customer in there one time told me like, "Oh, this smells like fruity pebbles," and now I can't smell. Which that's another thing to talk about actually is like, have you ever had a tea, the flavor of it just kind of ruined for you because someone said it tastes a certain way, and then you can never again think of that tea any other way.
Yeah.
Like, there's a tea called Dragon Fruit Dream, and this one customer tasted it one time, and he like looks at me and says, "I'm not gonna lie to you, this kind of tastes like sweat."
Sweat?
Yeah, and so dragon fruit, it has a nice mellow flavor to it. But ever since he said that, whenever I taste it or smell it, I can kind of see where he's going with that. And yeah, so he kind of ruined it for me. Then there's this other tea that in the shop that, I guess that, I mean, I don't want to ruin particular teas for people, but I taste it, I kind of taste Windex, like the way a Windex smells.
Which tea is that?
It's the white fuzzy navel. The white tea plus orange peel and some other things, some other like rooibos. It has a bit of a like soapy smell to it, and so yeah, I've had a coworker drink it, and then I said to them, "Doesn't that kind of taste like Windex?" And so yeah, so I don't know. Have you ever had like a tea, like the flavor of it, kind of ruined for you that way? Or...
I did it to myself, and I'm probably gonna do it for you right now, but to me. Lapsang Sao.
I'm not gonna ruin this one, right?
No, not this one. To me, Lapsang Sao Chong smells like a Payless. It smells like a Payless shoe store. Like well, I've said it on occasion. You get that leathery, smoky. It smells like sneakers.
And that smell of like so many used shoes, so many people taking their shoes off, and like a little bit of that feet smell. I can see that. Luckily, you have not ruined Lapsang for me because I don't ever drink that tea anyway.
You don't drink? Oh man, I love Lapsang. I don't care that it smells like a Payless, but you know what I'm talking about. Like you smell like that does.
Specifically an old Payless, where the workers don't keep clean it very much.
Exactly. That's why they went out of business, kind of deal. Like they were selling Foot Funk sneakers.
Yeah. Oh man,
that was terrible.
I definitely see that.
I mean, I don't care. Like I love Lapsang anyway, but I mean, it's like when I first smelled it, I was like, this smells like a Payless shoe store. And I remember the guy who recommended to me. He was like, "Yeah, that stuff it's strong, so just be careful when you when fighting the hiccups." He said, "Be careful when you steep it, because if you're not prepared for it, it's it'll ruin it. It'll ruin your taste buds, and yeah." I didn't listen, and I was very headstrong about it. I was like, I'm going to have this the right way first time, bam, and I loved it. Like that really strong smokiness, and it blends well with certain teas, not all of them. But like last week's liquid kick in the face, it blended really well with the super spiciness. And I'm never going back. Like that stuff was incredible. I brought it to work.
Mm.
And it's awesome.
Yeah. So I'm trying to think of other teas now that have
were ruined.
wacky tastes to them.
Valerian.
Oh no! You just reminded me of chamomile. Oh, okay. If you smell the dried chamomile flowers, it kind of reminds me of like, this is really going to ruin chamomile for some people maybe, or they're just really going to heavily disagree with me. But have you ever like just gone to a nasty bathroom at a gas station? Like the smell, it has a bit of a urine smell to it on chamomile, honestly, like a dried urine smell. And like, yeah, it's just one of those things. Like it kind of ruined chamomile for me. I don't really like chamomile by itself anymore. I still like it blended in with things, but like chamomile itself, it has a bit of a sour, very stingy kind of taste to it.
I don't
stingy
get that,
smell.
yeah.
Next time you
the
smell dried, especially just the dried flower. After you've steeped it, the taste of the tea itself is not quite that bad, but it still is. It's got a bit of a stinginess to it that's like not that great to me, honestly.
I mean, well, I like the smell and the taste of chamomile. I've never really gotten. I mean, I see where you're going with it, like a really nasty bathroom that somebody did not tried to clean. Like they just kind of. It's like the same way a teenager would use Axe body spray instead of taking a shower.
Oh, yeah.
It's like that kind of there's that underlying grime that you still get. But yeah,
chamomile, I totally smelled that when I smell chamomile, and now I just have to stay away from it.
I kind of get it. I still, it doesn't ruin it for me, but.
So with the, I mean, I've never had stevia in my tea, so I don't know if it's just totally off. But how is the sweetened version?
I like it. It's now that I have the honey in it, it's bringing out the other flavors more. Like I can taste a little bit more of the orange and the licorice root, a little bit more of the rooibos, and a lot more of the black. Like I'm getting like with the honey with the cinnamon is having that same kind of effect that the rose has, and it's pulling up the black tea more to the forefront. At least in my.
Oh wait, did you put the honey cinnamon in it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to do stevia.
Oh, no.
I didn't even notice what you did.
Oh, yeah, no.
So you were going to go with whatever my choice was.
Yeah, no, I was always going to go with the cinnamon honey.
Okay.
This is my my go-to sweetener.
Yeah, so the cinnamon does really, it doesn't overpower anything, but it definitely steps up a lot in this. But it goes well with these flavors.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I love to, I don't know if I've ever told you about the hibiscus cinnamon. You weren't in the store that day? Okay, so what happened was while I was in New Zealand, there was a Mexican restaurant that I would go to, and they had a soda that was hibiscus and cinnamon, and they served it with a cinnamon stick in it. And it was just incredible. I was like, I want to make this into a tea. So I came to Dodge, I was like, I want to get just flat out hibiscus, no black tea, and blend that with fiery cinnamon spice. I didn't quite get the effect that I was looking for because the hibiscus tea was blended with black tea. I was like, it doesn't quite do it. So I had to go to a different store. I went to Tigerspende, and they have the flat out hibiscus tea. So I bought one of those, and I got a cinnamon shaker with cinnamon powder in it, and I brewed it, and it was really good. Like, I think it could have used a little bit more cinnamon. I thought I put enough.
So this was just hibiscus leaves and cinnamon. That's it.
Yeah, and it actually went really well together.
I could try that out in the shop.
Well, do you guys have like just
We have both those things. Well, it's not cinnamon powder, but we've got like the crushed up bark, so it's pretty much cinnamon.
Yeah, like
and we have straight hibiscus. So
I would definitely
I'll
try
try
that. Yeah, I guess I should have asked for just the hibiscus, or maybe it wasn't in that day.
At Adagio?
I don't know because we can only get the hibiscus. Oh
They have it
no,
at
wait.
Adagio. You said you were at Tiger Schwinder though.
No. Tiger Schwender was where I got the only hibiscus tea.
Right, and you can get it at Adagio too.
Really? So
Yeah.
I think it was Charlie that was helping me that day. It was one of the girls that said that she didn't. Oh no, wait. It was either Charlie or Artemis.
There's also a hibiscus black tea.
Yeah, that's
so
that's
in
what
the
one that
catalog, if you look for hibiscus and you pull up just hibiscus, then that is going to be black tea with hibiscus in it. But yeah, or maybe I don't know. Maybe they just started stocking it and they haven't done it for that long.
Maybe, yeah, because I mean, like I've only been back for about 5 months, so maybe within that time they just got to do one. I don't know,
Yeah.
but yeah, it actually came out pretty good. I liked it. It's a little bit hard to figure out how much cinnamon to put in, but once you get that balance, it's really good. I haven't even tried it iced. Maybe
Agua de Jamaica. You've never had iced hibiscus before?
no.
No, it's a Mexican cuisine. It's like a very well known. I mean, I had it a lot of times in Sukasa.
Oh, I can imagine.
That was my first exposure to hibiscus. Actually, was with the women at Sukasa, and they would call it agua de Jamaica. So they just call it. I guess they're just calling it Jamaican water, or Jamaican juice.
Yeah, it is.
So
Jamaican juice. No, it's water. Agua's water.
So, yeah.
That's interesting.
Iced with some sugar, it's really good.
And another pro tip, I think I told you about this before. When you mix coconut pouchong with was it coconut? Yeah, coconut milk and cinnamon, it tastes like horchata. That came out really
I don't know
good.
horchata very well, so I can't really imagine it, but I have had it before.
Oh, it's so good. Like I had it iced. Actually, that was the one that you had made. Like it was in the middle of summer, and we brought it back here, and I was drinking it out on the not the porch, the balcony. I was like, you know what this could use? This could use a little bit of sugar and a little bit of cinnamon, and like it blew me away. I was like, this is horchata. Plain and simple.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's your shortcut right there.
Yeah, no, we should have a stream where we just talk about blends.
Yeah.
Blends.
Like I would love to. I mean, this is probably something in the future where I would love to just have a whole lot of different teas and herbs and spices and get everything together. We just experiment with different teas and see what we come up with. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm already thinking about what to do for an employee blend for the spring.
For the next season, yeah.
And since I've already, I've this one won and the other employees are trying to win, so I figured like I'm going to do something really weird because,
You already got the win under your belt.
I'm not going to like pass in the competition, but I'll do something really risky. So that way, like, if I'm going to win again, it's going to be, like, really difficult for me. So I think I'm going to do some green tea, turmeric, ginger, something else kind of weird, like, I can't remember, maybe more.
Big liquid kick in the face.
Yeah. And just something like, mainly the green tea and turmeric, which actually happen to be pretty good together, and no one would ever think of that. So that's the starting, and then some other things, and just maybe call it like
liquid kick in the face.
I was thinking of calling it like something like acid trip or something.
Acid trip, yeah.
Something like
it has to be 3
bizarre.
words. So
Right, yeah.
the acid trip.
The acid trip. Or just have a name that's like kind of off-putting so that people are like, Like, what? I'm really gonna drink this?
Psychedelic acid trip. There you go.
So, yeah.
All right, so it looks like it's 8:55, you guys. So it's time for announcements. I
Never made it this part of the stream.
Yeah, this part of the stream, this is where everybody starts to get that state. Thank God it's almost over. But no, this is yay announcements or yay thank God it's over.
Yay because it's over.
Like, oh my God, my public. No, this is okay. Anyway, so I lost my train of thought.
What are the? You said there's announcements.
Yes, announcements. I had a specific announcement in mind, and I can't remember what it was now, because old man brain's leaking. Oh yeah, okay. So we're coming close to November, and you guys know we're doing the excuse me, the International Tea Festival here in Chicago. It's not international. It's the Midwest Tea Festival, and I already got my tickets. I'm going to talk to some people and see if they wouldn't mind if I streamed at their stalls. I'm going to see if I can stream at some of the just some of the special events that they're having. So I'm really looking forward to showing you guys what's going on there and sharing what you're missing if you're not in the Chicago area, or if you are and you didn't get a ticket. Tickets are, I believe it's like maybe $25 or something, I want to say. So I think that alone is incentive enough to check it out if you get the chance. Then I don't know, we'll see, because I am going to go to a couple panels. They're probably not going to allow us to stream at the actual panels, but everything outside I'm sure is fair game. What else? Okay, so we're getting close to the holiday season. So I would like to do something special this year, maybe around December, late December. I don't know if I want to do like a specific Christmas theme or something like that. So I am opening the lines. If you have any suggestions, anything that you'd want to see around the holidays, Christmas and Thanksgiving. Of course, I'm going to do something for Halloween, but that's going to be I'm going to play that one close to the chest for now. But yeah, if you guys have any suggestions, please let me know. I would like to do something special for you guys. So yeah, absolutely. Oh, okay. Whew, I'm starting to sweat. All right, so I have about 1 or 2 sips left. You got any 1 or 2 sips left?
You can see how far I've drunk mine down, because it shows you the progress I've made.
It looks like it's just nighttime over the farm. Like it's right on that line. Oh yeah. But now I'm gonna open up the floor. Questions, comments, anything you want to bring up. Now's the time. He already finished it before. He's like, done, let's get out of here. No, so I have like 2 sips left. Now's the time. If you have any questions or comments, just throw it out there. Hit me with your best shot.
Thank you, Sneha.
I do have a question traditionally asked by my sister. She always asks me, what food would I pair this with? So, what would you pair this with?
That's a good question. Probably something like banana bread. Or, I don't know.
You go on the sweeter dessert side?
Yeah, I mean, I was supposed to eat that macaroon.
It's still there, don't worry.
But no, there's no tea left.
Oh, we have the oolong still.
Yeah, we'll do that later on. But yeah, I don't know. Like, when I think of pairing something with tea, I just want to do like something that's sweet but not too sweet, like banana bread or like a muffin, cookie of some sort. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely. I mean, it's a pretty savory tea. It's like a sweet kind of savory. So if I were to do it, I would actually prefer it as like pair it with an entree. But a light tasting entree, maybe something. I rarely say this, but because of the mate, I would probably do something like a what's the word, a paella. You know, you get like the seafood and the rice. That's nothing too strong, nothing too seasoned. Well, I mean, of course, you're gonna get like the seasoned rice, but you know what I'm saying, like nothing too like savory. I think that it'll balance pretty well with this tea. But I would not recommend drinking this with eating a llama because
You know, I've had llama meat before.
you had.
Yeah,
How is it?
the same thing when I was in South America. They exposed me to these things. It's kind of like beef,
Like beef?
but I did not know people would eat llama. But
Me neither.
in Argentina, you can get llama meat.
Wow, I would actually try that.
Yeah, or it kind of tastes like deer meat, I guess. You know, it's because it's got that slightly like wild flavor to it that you've
Yeah,
never.
and gamey texture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it exists. It is a thing. So maybe you could pair this tea with llama.
With actual llama.
And eat a llama.
That's it. We're going to South America. We're bringing this tea, and we're like saying, "Serve up the llama. Bring us some hot water and llama." And that was something I did not think I would say when I woke up this morning. All right, guys, I'm down to my last sip, so I'm going to open the floor one more time. If you have any questions, comments, anything you want to say, now's your time, or forever hold your peace. In the meantime, down the hatch. Okay. Thank you guys so much for joining us this week. It's always great to have you come in and share these teas with. Thank you for I can't even talk. I have llama in my mouth. Thanks, Thomas, for joining us and presenting your tea and talking about it and giving us the inside scoop of it. Yeah, when you win the contest again, we'll do this again. It doesn't even have to win.
Somebody
do
else
this
needs
again.
to win.
Yeah.
Somebody else needs to
So
win.
yeah, that would be cool. Maybe this time Christian he'll snag it at the end.
We'll see.
But in the meantime, everybody have a great night, a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.